come from a traditional music background, so he plays accordion and sings, and that was one of my earliest musical memories, of hearing him sing and playing the accordion. And all of us, there's 9 children in the family, and I'm the youngest of 9 children. So in a way it was quite a crazy, chaotic household, but it was very exciting in a way because most of us learned instruments at some stage, anything from piano to cello to accordion. So there's a huge range of performers in the family, so we all used to get together and perform in the house, which was great. And also a lot of people, when they talk about my family, they talk about my father as being the main influence musically, but I think my mother had a major influence on me particularly, and I think it's partly to do with the fact that she's tone deaf, and when I was a very young child she used to sing me very atonal nursery rhymes. And I remember thinking that these were very beautiful, and these were my earliest, melodic memories, really, of these nursery rhymes. So I think in a way that has influenced me, maybe indirectly as well, because at a young age I already felt that these atonal melodies were very natural and beautiful, and that was a really important time for me, the 4 years spent doing my music degree in UCC. I suppose mainly to do with the diversity of teaching that exists there, which is incredible. I studied ethnomusicology with Mel Mercier, so I would have been actively performing things like South Indian vocal percussion, Javanese Gamelan, and also African Airway drumming. And then also I've been studying piano singing as well with Eilish and Hulawan. And new music was a huge area there, it still is, with John Godfrey. So I studied composition with him and new music, contemporary music in general. So that was a major influence, and I think all of those aspects still come into play in my writing. And also medieval music was a major influence for me at the time as well, it still is. Earlier on, when I had experimented with composing with the piano, I always felt that it was quite limiting in a way. It wasn't really expressing the sounds that were in my mind that I wanted to put out there into the world. And I remember deciding to go to the Ennis Composition Summer School in 1998, and that was really significant for me. I studied electroacoustic composition with Michael Alcorn, and he taught me the program C Sound as well, and I remember being very excited about the possibilities. Suddenly I felt that I can recreate these sounds that I'm hearing in my mind very clearly, and I felt very at home with electronic music immediately. I think in a way a lot of my pieces seem to be concerned with the tension of opposites. Often they will move between points of chaos to points of stasis, and I'm sort of exploring the journey in between those 2 points, and that feels quite natural for me. And I think often in my pieces you'll get very, very dense, rich textures, and then very sort of sparse, austere textures, and these are I'm interested in exploring these opposites in a way. I think that the balance is very important for me, actually, and I need that balance. I don't think I could lock myself away for years on end and just compose these great symphonies and never see anybody outside of my house. I think it's very important to have that sort of social interaction and feedback, and I find it very inspiring actually to teach, and I learn even so much from my students, and it's always so exciting for me if I'm introducing a piece of music to students for the first time that I'm very excited about, and then I see that their enthusiasm as well, and it feeds back into my own work. So I think it's of vital importance for me. I think you need to have that balance. Well, I certainly do. Future projects in the next few months will be, one of them, the first one really, is that I'm performing with an improvisation group in Berlin and Venice as part of a festival called Nuimo, the New West Electroacoustic Music Organisation. And I think that would be very interesting. It's with some Berlin-based musicians. So they'll be circuit bending and they'll be performing flute and live electronics. And then I'm going to be working on a project which will eventually go to Jordan, and I'll be doing a residency and installation in Jordan in August. So that will be a sort of a interdisciplinary project with visual artists as well. So I'm very excited about that. And also I'm going to be working on a multi-channel tape piece for a concert in June with the Spatial Music Collective. This is a group that has been set up with mainly Trinity-based composers or former Trinity students, which is concerned with performing music that is spatial. So whether that be spatial electronics or spatialization of live performers as well, which is it's a very interesting idea. And also I'm going to be working on a piece for Natasha Lowen for voice and electronics as well. So there's a lot of interesting projects coming up.